Hey guys, Gemma from ASD Rocks. So it has been super interesting having this Fitbit, like really crazy interesting. Beau's had appointments these holidays, so there's basically not one day where he doesn't have certain things that he has to do. So whether it's sports, physiology, whether he has his support worker over, or whether he's got his school tutoring, which we continue through the holidays because it's important for him to keep it consistent and flowing and not have that break from school. So having this Fitbit, it's not about the calories. It will be for the nutritionist tomorrow. But having this Fitbit shows me just how much I haven't noticed. I mean, I've noticed it. I've always known that Beau's stim running is out of control. I've always known that, obviously. And, it's always been very stressful for me during school holidays because, that's when he ends up needing surgery on his feet. That's when he ends up doing the most stimming because we never had support workers before. So yesterday, so the support worker comes over and at the moment, so the amazing Jess comes over and she spends a day, well, not really a day, but a significant period of hours with Beau. And so he sits and he talks. The other day she took him to a cafe, which is amazing because that's what normal people do later on in life. They meet up, they have a coffee, they have a chat, and so they went down to a local cafe and they just sat and had a chat, which is exactly showing him the things that I want him to be exposed to so that he knows, I guess, what social convention is. Yes, he's been to cafes, obviously, with me. It's really not about that. It's much more about him getting used to going into these sorts of places, having, not a coffee, obviously. He's too young and I doubt he'll ever drink coffee because he's too scared of trying anything new. But, sitting down in these places, having a drink, having a conversation with someone that's not your parents, it's a really big deal. So the last couple of days, we've been able to take the actual graph information of how much he's stimming when he's left on his own to his own devices and how much he is settled when he's with someone who is narrowing his focus, if that makes sense. So it turns out that when left to his own devices for any period of time, Beau will run, which I knew about. But he runs approximately within an hour to two. He can run about within an hour or two. So he ran, I think, about 6K, 7K. When he's got someone there talking to him, he'll only do about 10 or 11K in a day. So if he's the other day they went out to the aquarium, and even though that's walking, they drove there, they walked around, they came back. It's not him just stim running backwards and forwards from one wall to another, literally. So on days that he's being under control and within control of people who are directing him to focus on things, I haven't obviously had a day where he's at school yet, so it'll be really interesting to see because he's so controlled with, from basically 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So that's a massive chunk of a day where he's under control. I use the term control, I mean as opposed to being free to do whatever he wants. I say control, but I don't mean it in a negative way. His wants, needs, desires, all of those things are being controlled by someone who says you have to go to this class, that class, the other class, or we're sitting down and we're going to have, you know, a coffee at the cafe, or we're going to do cooking, or we're going, you know, the sorts of things that he can't do for himself. It's this free thinking that he can't do for himself. It has to be controlled. He has to be given an idea, a thought. Do this, direction, do that. Otherwise, he just stim runs. So on a day where he's completely left to his own devices, he's somewhere between 15 and 20 kilometers a day on his own. I'll have to have a look and see at the end of today, because today's, although at 4 o'clock he does have his tutor come, so he's pretty much got something that he has to do every day. But today's been the biggest day where he just has been left to his own devices, and it's been so interesting. I mean, I wouldn't say I wish I had have done this earlier, and I don't think that every person out there who has a kid with autism needs to run out and get a Fitbit, but I really don't think that I saw how good it would be to have this information, to just have a much more, and I think also it would have really helped for the NDIS to have had this kind of concrete numbers that may have helped with funding. I don't know if anything helps with the NDIS or NDIA, whatever they want to call themselves these days. I don't know if anything helps with funding, but you know, it's very interesting to me to see what is going on, exactly when these peak periods are, when he's expending all this energy. So it's going to be great to take to the nutritionist tomorrow, and it's going to be really great in regards to getting him the nutrition that he needs, because at the moment Richard has delighted in entering all of Beau's foods, so you can, in this program that we got with the Fitbit, so we got the Fitbit Versa 3. I don't know what any of them are. I'm not a Fitbit person. My health thing isn't even on this. Like, oh, someone sent me a message. Like, I don't even have, this is an Apple One that Finn bought for himself many years ago, and then realized that he had absolutely no use for an Apple Watch, so I got it. But I don't even have like there's a heart rate monitor, of fitness, whatever thing. I don't even have that on in this, so I'm really disinterested in those sorts of things. But Richard has taken absolute delight in creating little meals. So you can go into the program for this Fitbit and you can enter your meals for the day, which tells you how many calories. Like, it's amazing. It's actually amazing. It has every food stored into this program. Like, I'm talking Coles beef patties are in there. Like, you don't just write beef patties. Someone has sat down and taken, for example, whether it's Safeway beef patties, Woolworths beef patties, or Coles beef patties, or whatever the supermarket is that you go to, or Aldi beef patties, or Costco beef patties. They have entered all of the ingredients into this program. It's unbelievable how much food is in there. All his crackers that he eats, whether they be Fantastic or Fantastic crackers, or Arnott's Savoy crackers, or whatever crackers are in there, it's in this program. So Richard has made these preset, because it's really easy with autism. His meals don't change, so we just hit meal package number 1 today, meal package number 2 today. You know, we know what he has for breakfast. He has the same thing every single day for breakfast. We know he has a banana at recess time. We know he has you know, his sandwich at a particular time. We know he has snacks at this time, and we know what he has. So it is absolutely 100% accurate and predictable down to a calorie, I reckon. So we know that he is currently burning far more calories than he's eating, which is why he's not only not putting on muscle, but not putting on weight. So the nutritionist should help us find a product to counteract and add exactly how many calories we need to for him to have the right diet, where he's not burning more calories than he's taking in, but he's taking in enough calories where he can actually start having a fat layer, which he hasn't had since he was a little bubby. He was such a fat kid when he was born. You know, he was like, when he was being breastfed, he was, you know, one of those babies with those gorgeous fat rolls on the legs, and oh, he was just such a porky pie. And then, I don't know, he hit 3 and boom, it was just gone. It was like all that good nutrients, with the bottles stopped, everything stopped, and the nutrition just dropped, and the food tolerance just dropped, and it was really difficult. So anyway, my experience with this Fitbit has been amazing. It really has. To have that kind of clinical information is not only going to be so helpful for the nutritionist, but also is helpful in regards to, I know when he needs to be directed. It's going to take a longer period. As you know, we've only had it for about a week, not even. So we've got a general idea, but it's just been super fantastic. So guys, if you are interested in one, you know, this one we got, it was on a half price sale, so it was just like super cheap. And yeah, I'm in love with it. I think it has been so beneficial for us to have had in regards to feedback on exactly how to work with Beau, food wise, calorie wise, stimming wise, and just in every regard for that side of autism. So yeah, see how you go. Oh, that's bright. See how you go, guys. I couldn't suggest it more highly.